Hello, everybody. This is the pre-show. Good afternoon. It's 5:30, half past 5, 30 until 6, 90 until 7. And if it's on with the show, this is it. It must be late afternoon on a Wednesday or a Wednesday, as my math tutor, Mr. Herbert, used to say. You ever get people like that, Gino, who say, Wednesday? Yes, we'll have an appointment and we'll set it for next Wednesday. Really? How about Tuesday? Is that possible? Or Monday? Anyway, hi there, John here. It's Real Town. Welcome to Real Town. I am the mayor of Real Town. If anybody knows anything about me online, this much is true, because well, I'll just keep it real. I'll keep it straight. I'll shoot straight. We may not always agree, and that's okay. That's why it's cool to be around here, wherever your here happens to be. Okay, it doesn't matter where I am, just as long as I'm around. So there you go. I want to say hello to all the folks on Facebook. I don't know how many of you are looking, peeking in, checking it out, checking in, checking up, and then checking out. But hey, we're here. We're doing what we do. Tracy is going to join in progress. She's got, dig this, man. She's got a new gig. More on that as it unfolds. That's about all I know at this point. And the other thing I know about it is I believe it's her first week, second day, and there's training involved. Granted, it's only about a 15-minute or so ride from around here, but if one works till 5 o'clock, and in central New Jersey on Route 33, we all know how traffic could be. She's going to be a little late. That's okay, no big deal. Hey, I'm used to waiting. It ain't no big deal. So there you go. So what's on everybody's mind? How's things? How's your week? How are you minding the heat out there? Wherever there is. I've spoken to people in Pennsylvania. Matter of fact, this morning I spoke to a gentleman in northeast Pennsylvania, in the Berwick-Bloomsburg area, coincidentally where I have my adopted hometown of Bloomsburg, PA. Said it was, I don't know, I'm going to say it about 8:45, 9 o'clock. He's like, yeah, it's only 72 degrees. And I'm like, oh, good for you. He goes, no, not so good. The humidity is 95%. I'm like, ooh. So if you're thirsty, you could wring out your shirt and have a cup. He said, yeah, I didn't realize Costa Rica was now in Pennsylvania, but what are you going to do? And I get it. I just walked out of the Global House of Hits about 35 minutes ago. Opened that front door, and it was just heat. So here she is, ladies and germs. It's Tracy Paris is, quote, on her way. On my way, it says here. So we are we'll do a JIP, a JIP, a join in progress. That's broadcast lingo, you people. JIP, join in progress. It's like when the ball game's over and the guy says, we now return you to the regularly scheduled programming already in progress. That's a JIP. That's a JIP. Okay, join in progress. So, hey, we're good. What's on everybody's mind? What's going on out there? First week of school for a lot of places. Sometimes the second week of school. Matter of fact, I know that there are actually some places where this is the third week of school. That's just insane, man. We didn't used to go back. When I was in public school, Gino, we didn't go back until the day after Labor Day. East Brunswick Public Schools, go Lawrence Brook Mustangs. Lawrence Brook Elementary, by the way. It was the day after Labor Day. And That was absolutely fine. When I went to Wardlaw Hartridge, the preppy little snobatorium that it's become, not a big fan. Can you detect that? But it was fun back then. It was neat. It was kind of like public school with a little on it. We didn't go back until like the 15th of the month. Yeah. So we had an extra few weeks, to do our thing in the summer. We had local summer for a couple of weeks, like they do right now down at the shore. Can you dig that, Gino? I've got some friends that are down the shore, and they say, first of all, it's like the middle of August, late July, except for one thing. There's no crowds. No crowds. None, which is nice. So, I've got friends, I've got relatives. Jamie's going to get down there. My wife, she's going to get down there and spend some time. She's got tomorrow and Friday off, ostensibly. So she's going to go down with these friends of ours and just check it out, as they say, and enjoy the sun, the sand, the surf, and get out of there probably Saturday just in time for a little cloudy, maybe a little precip on the early part of the weekend. So school has started. This is good. College football's underway. This is good. The National Football League kicks off tomorrow night. Them Dirty Birds, whichever you want. They got Eagles, they've got Falcons on the program tomorrow night on the National Football League tomorrow night. So pick your poison. Tell you what, the Eagles I think are loaded, whether people believe so or not. The NFL Network has them ranked number 1 as of right now. So until something happens to alter that, that's their perch to sit on and or be knocked off of. So they have the Eagles, Gino, as the top power ranking NFL team. The LA Rams are holding the deuce position, number 2. Get a load of this. The New Orleans Saints, they have the National Football League power rankings at number 3. So you have Eagles, Rams, Saints as 1, 2, 3. The Saints are 3. Dig that. I had no idea. I mean, I like Drew Brees. I like that whole team down there. Alvin Kamara. Mark Ingram, the running back, he's suspended for a few weeks, but you know what? No worries. I mean, okay, he has his worries, and I'm sorry to know he's suspended, but the team has no sweat because they've got that Alvin Kamara going to do some running. And the 4th-ranked team, the Minnesota Vikings. What? New quarterback up in the semi-Great White North in the big enclosure. That's a nice stadium up there, that new indoor stadium that they have, Bank America Stadium, I believe it is. Kirk Cousins has relocated his professional situation as quarterback of formerly the quarterback of the Washington Redskins. He is now the big kahuna, the top dog, head honcho, Big G's up in Minnesota. He's the quarterback for the Vikes. It's a heck of a thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. My New York Football Giants, they I believe are. Memory escapes, and I don't know why it does, because you'd think I'd have this tattooed in my head here. They're either 11th or 18th. I think they're 18th, moving up 11 spots because they gained some good players over the recent days here, the off season. And Saquon Barkley, their running back, is ready to go. So we have all kinds of things brewing. And here she is, Miss America. Hello, come on over, come on over. What is happening? Come on. Where are we going? Where have we been? My head's in the clouds, my tail's in a spin. No falling. Oh, jeez. We can't have any fall. Well, yeah, because of the,
I guess I can in the short way.
Yeah.
Right there, but
you could have just went right there, right there.
Oh, you can put me in the little chair, the baby chair. But for some reason, Ed has no issue with. That's interesting.
Nobody has an issue other than you.
Except me. Maybe I'm doing something wrong.
And this is nothing. We're not telling stories out of school, ladies and gentlemen. If you watch the Alpha Male program here at 7 o'clock on Wednesdays, our host Ed, he's about 3 times of what young TRACY is here. Okay, and thank you. I don't know. And the chair stays put.
Maybe there's a lock.
Is there a lock? Is there a lock?
I'll know in a second.
We're gonna
Maybe I
find
didn't
out.
lock it.
Stick it in.
Oh, I didn't know about the sticking in part.
Push it in.
You always want to stick it in. Hello.
Thanks, Gene. Now you tell me about sticking it in?
I just found out about it the other day.
Oh.
You've been around how long? Are you
Thanks.
just now finding out about sticking? Come
I didn't know
on.
about sticking it in. I didn't know.
Yeah,
Thanks
please.
for that. Yeah, thanks for sharing about the sticking in.
Oh,
Okay.
word possible.
Hi,
What?
Johnny.
Hi.
How are you?
Oh, I
I'm
feel
gonna
like.
take my hair out.
What would you do? Oh, okay. I feel like $100. How about you?
I feel like 101.
Wow. Big doings.
Oh my God. Life is crazy.
It's nutty. It's wacky, man. It's kooky.
Isn't it crazy?
We were just teeing it up here, you know. And I know you have said that I am obsessed with this. The Barnum's Animals thing just won't go away.
Oh my God.
Number one.
Enough.
Number two.
I get it.
School is back. College football has started. NFL begins tomorrow. The Kavanaugh hearings. Oh my God! What an inappropriate snipe fest. I'm sorry, but so there's all kinds of stuff going. The weather, it just continues to be just an absolute hot
It's like-
box.
It's like
Horrible.
living in somebody's butt. Like it's like you can't breathe. You have nowhere to go. You can't get out.
It's almost like
It's like
an Eddie,
being in somebody's butt.
it's like,
That's
like
what
an
it's.
Eddie Murphy lyric, you know, boogie in your butt.
Yeah, if you lived in somebody's butt, this is what it would be like.
I'm not living in somebody's
It would. Well, I mean, if you
What?
ever decided to move in somebody's butt,
No.
that would be it. That would
Why-
be.
Why would you do that?
I don't know. Maybe you want a nice place to visit.
No.
You don't live there. You just kind of like visit and then you leave.
Well, there is.
I don't know.
Never mind.
I don't know anymore.
I'm not even.
I don't know. I give
I
up.
think you know what I'm trying to say.
I give up. I just give
What's the
up.
matter?
Stressful. Stress. I'm under stress all the time. It's never ending. How are you doing? Under pressure.
I cannot wait to see that
Tipping
movie.
around.
People on the street.
How you doing?
I'm all right. Why? What'd you hear?
I didn't hear anything bad.
No, I didn't say bad. What'd you hear?
I didn't hear anything. Oh, there's a camera. I was looking at the screen. I'm like, hello.
Hello. No, that's the
camera.
Yeah.
How you doing?
I'm all right.
How you feeling?
My pimp hand is strong.
Your pimp hand?
My pimp hand is strong. Gotta keep my pimp hand strong. My pimp hand.
What are you doing with your pimp hand?
Nothing actually. I have no
Oh,
pimp
boy.
hand. Just I'm all right.
Does that have to do with sticking it in again? Are we back to that?
You know, we would have to stick around for more information. Thank you. I'm all right.
How's
I'm all right.
your place of business doing?
Well, our place of business is down one.
I heard.
Boy, the news travels fast, don't it?
I'll tell you. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
That was the one I was most afraid of, though.
Johnny Scuzzo?
I was a little. I don't know. I'd be ducking under my desk.
That's what our good friend Billy O calls
Yeah,
him.
I'm just saying. That's where I'd be going.
Wow. Well, we had one of the colleagues at the Global House of Hits was invited to work elsewhere today, and that happens. What are you gonna shush? Smush.
Listen,
It
I was there. I
happens.
get it.
It happens. Okay.
I was getting it. No, you know what? Let me tell you something. Nobody wants to go through that. I don't
No,
care.
Of course not.
You know what? I just it makes me sad.
But he was having a bad day, I think, to begin with, because I caught him a couple times, once in the kitchen and once outside on the cell phone, just seeming to not have a good day. And I'm going to say at about 3:30, 4 o'clock, it got worse.
Yeah. It's
Well,
just,
so, you know, what are you going to do? I mean, been there, happened to me.
life is crazy.
We've gone through it. We know what's what. You know what? And as we get to a certain point in our lives, we know that, okay, you know what? Not to be cliche, but door A shuts. Sometimes it shuts hard. And door B opens up. Maybe not immediately, but it does open. So no
Life is crazy. That's the bottom line.
That'd be
Life
crazy.
is nuts. It's just a nutty. It's crazy.
NVTS, nuts.
It's crazy. It's
Latin.
crazy. So no one can understand it. I don't understand
That
it.
is what it is, you know.
It is what it is.
You know, we go along, we do what we do. We eke out our existence, or we do more than eking, you know, which is nice, knock on wood, whatever substance this is. What is this, Gino?
Wood.
It's wood-like.
Would like it.
Wood
Laminate?
like. You got your brush board with the veneer.
So let's. So what's up? So why did you? Why did the Barnum and Bailey thing come up again?
Because of the thing on the thing, the on the Facebook.
Did you repost it?
I might have.
Why? No, seriously. Okay.
Go ahead.
Because it's not even like this is the thing that drives me crazy. You make it a political thing. Like, how do you make it not? No, I'm not saying you specifically, but when you post it became a political thing, which is so dumb. That's dumb.
That is.
First of all, it has nothing to do with it. The whole point of it is in the way things have been lately. Okay, a lot of things due to social media. And people travel the world and they see things. And as you know, the whole thing with Barnum and Bailey, I get it. Okay, it was the circus. I get it. Look, it's the circus. They're in the trolley and the train. And it's all the animals. Hi, animals on the train.
Wagons on the parade circus when they would unload off the train, go through the town and set up by the tent.
But people have become mega sensitive when it comes to animals, particularly circus animals.
Which is ridiculous.
It's not ridiculous.
Hold on one hand, but go ahead. We'll come back.
Well, because it was proven and recorded and photographed that Barnum and Bailey's were not very friendly to a lot of the animals as far as the elephants and tigers, the wild animals are concerned.
Oh my.
And a lot of people believe, and I'm going to tell you a little story about my childhood.
Okay.
A lot of people believe that animals are not meant to be whipped and chained and have fire, jump through rings of fire. And, a lot of people don't believe that's the way those animals should be treated. And Barnum and Bailey's been around for many years. I went to the circus when I was a kid, and I'll tell you that story in a second. Mm-hmm. So I get it. I get why people go, well, what's the deal? Who cares? It's just a box of cookies. But for people who are very sensitive to animals, it hits a sore spot. My aunt is a vegan. To her, it's a win. Like, that's a win to her because she's a vegan, big animal lover, whatever. When I went to the circus, the first and last time, I was very young, and I remember being upset because I didn't like the fact that the tigers, they had the whip and they were whipping, and the tigers had to go up, like everybody like, yay! And then the bears, with their little skirts on, oh, look at them go, yay! I remember being a kid, and I'm far more sensitive now than when I was a kid. Let's put that out there.
Okay.
But I remember being a kid saying, this is weird. I don't think this is the way it's supposed to be. I never went back to the circus, and that's why I go to Cirque du Soleil, because there's no animals there. It's all human beings.
Understood.
And so the whole Barnum and Bailey's thing is because of the way animals have been treated. Barnum and Bailey's is gone because people started not going because they didn't like the way the animals were being treated, that they're chained up in a train going cross country. It's not the way elephants should be treated that way. So this box is expressing the passionate beliefs of animal lovers across the country. It is not about politics. It's not about that stuff. So I just don't get why it's become such a, like, this is stupid. Well, what makes it because it's something that people want. They want change, and I don't think it's really a big deal.
Perception is reality, and I have my circus. Gene and I were talking about this just before you walked in. At probably age 3 or 4, I had my first experience going to the Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey Circus in Madison Square Garden in New York City. Right after they remodeled it or built the new one back, I'm going to say in '68, okay? And my father worked in New York City and got tickets, and we were always doing something. Yeah, I got tickets to the escapades. You and your mother come in tomorrow night. Okay. And we would go do that. But anyway, to the circus. And we saw the animals. We saw him behind stage. There's a picture of him holding me with the giraffe, me feeding him a peanut. Okay, and da-da-da-da-da. And we went several times, numerous times. It was like a big deal every year when the circus would come to New York City. We would go, and see it. Now, my perception, again, folks' perception is reality, and I am not discounting that because that's true. Your perception is your reality, whoever you are, okay? I also, like I mentioned to you, Gene, 15, 20 minutes ago, I am no fan of inappropriate mistreatment of whatever, a person, an animal, a tiger, a college co-ed, a fraternity brother, a neighbor across the street. Child, an older person. I'm not. But, my perception of it is, okay, I get it that, there was identified mistreatment. And I don't know if it was every time, all the time, or some of the time, a little of the time, or someplace in between. But it's like we talked about too, almost like going to the doctor when you get a certain age. They're looking for something. So the more rocks you flip over when you're looking for something, the more likely you're going to find something. And then all of a sudden you're going to find somebody else who's like, yeah.
But isn't
right.
everything like that? Isn't everything like that?
It's to a point. But the problem is, or the issue is now, like what you just said, and I think we hit it last time too. It spreads like fire.
Sure.
It spreads immediately.
Sure.
Almost like, okay, and we're not gonna get political, but I'm gonna bring a little sniff of it in here.
Oh, here it comes.
No.
Okay.
Let's go back pre-internet, okay? Let's go back to Clinton. That was pre-internet, and just as it was unfolding, okay? When something would happen that they had to do damage control on out of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, you had a cycle. You had until tomorrow to, we need to get our heads around this and figure out how we're going to spin it. Now, you do something at the clock says 5:51. By 5:52, you are persona non grata.
That's it. Done. Correct.
And it's just all over the place, okay? Same principle. When whatever would happen at Ringling Brothers in New York City or wherever it was that you saw it, Montreal, where have you, okay, Boston, Philadelphia, fill in the blank, wherever, or the little community circuses that would go around from town to town, like that Hoxie Brothers circus I told you about from I'm going to say the mid to late 70s I saw out in Nescapek, Pennsylvania, okay. When stuff would happen that you got a whole tent full of people in Nescapek watching this goings on, and you got, I don't know, a handful who were like, I don't like that, whatever that happens to be. They don't like clowns. They don't like that they had to with the.
Well, clowns are just creepy. It's not it's just a creepy thing. They're just creepy. Now you know they're creepy.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Okay. Then all of a sudden, okay, the circus is over. Everybody goes home. And Phyllis or Don, say, oh, I didn't like that because of fill in the blank reason. And they talk to whomever they talk to, and that's it. Fast forward to the here and now. Everybody's got an axe to grind. Everybody's got a thing to put out there. Everybody's got their onion to peel. Stop it.
But that's just one of many, many things. Look at, for example, greyhound racing. There was a time when greyhound racing was pretty much in every state. I mean, it was everywhere. Now it is banned in every state in this country except for 4 states. And it's actually in the Supreme Court in Texas, Florida right now, to be banned there. It's still in Texas and then 2 other states because the dogs were abused. They get their legs broken and then they're shot down, and that was the end of it. And I mean, the abuse was ridiculous with that, but it went on and on and on until the internet, and people started, and what happens is, people like PETA, and PETA are very extreme, so don't think I'm like a big PETA, but they are extreme, but they do go in with their little hidden cameras and they do the little thing and they record things, and when you catch them and then you put them on social media, there it is. We never got to see that before. I didn't know anything about the Yulin Dog Festival until I was online and things started coming. I'm like, they skin dogs alive and burn them alive and eat them in friggin', are you shitting me? Like, that's what I had, and I didn't even know it existed. Oh, this has been around for hundreds of years. Really? Because then I see the videos and then torturing these animals. I go, no, this has got to stop. And then that's how it all starts. So that goes back to the Barnum and Bailey. That goes back to, we'll go to this too, Nike. What's going on with Nike now? Everything starts online. All you need is one tweet, one Facebook post, one Snapchat, whatever it may be. And once it catches fire.
Oh, yeah, so to speak. Thank you.
Right. But once it catches fire, I mean, that's it. Like I told you, that Backstreet Boys thing, I did one tweet and I had hundreds of people I don't even know.
Right.
Going, what? Why are you saying that about Nick Carter from the Backstreet Boys? I was like, what? I don't even know you. But that's how quick. Me too.
Oh, I know.
Another thing, and again, I always caveat this by saying it's not against women, what I'm saying, but all you need is one person to go on social media and say, this happened to me. And once everyone gets on the bandwagon, that's it. It's gone. It is gone for good. And that's with everything. So
Well,
not
and
just
this-
part, everything.
No, it's everything.
Everything.
And you know what? It's the genie's out of the bottle, and you can't put the genie back
Nope.
in. The genie's been out of the bottle for about 20 years now, and you can't stuff it back in. With this whole Nike thing, okay, where I come from, and just keeping again it real, okay, I would not have done what they did to promote their brand. I would not have. Okay, now, having said that, I completely understand exactly why they did, because of, here it is. We were talking about Ringling Brothers, Barnum and Bailey, and all of a sudden, and appropriately, mind you, this comes up. The Nike thing comes up. It generates buzz. It generates share of voice. Okay, as we used to say in broadcast, we got to have a strong share of voice, and it creates, you know, more of the topic to propagate. I don't care whether it's Colin Powell or Colin Kaepernick who's endorsing the product. It's gonna light a fire. Literally, and you can see the post on Facebook, people, I'm gonna burn my shoes. Really? I have a friend of mine, sidebar for a second, this was brilliant. Sean Henriksen, he lives down in, I believe, San Antonio, Texas. Good family friend, formerly from Berwick, Pennsylvania. A former military man. He's in security in San Antonio. He said, enough of this crap about burning your shoes. Are you kidding me? Do you know how much that would mean to somebody who doesn't have shoes? If you don't want the cotton-picking Nike shoes, bring them to me. I'm going to have a bin, and I'm going to take them down to the place for the people who don't have shoes, homeless people. I'm like, brilliant. I'm not a bleeding heart. I'm not. Pull your straps up and do, but I'm also one to also help.
And that, I agree with that. I agree with that. See, that's the thing that's infuriating me about the Nike thing. It's like everybody's burning their shoes and throwing them in the garbage. You know what? There are people who actually will wear those Nike shoes, and they're like homeless and stuff. Put them in a bag. Put them in the vets thing.
Big giant white box in the
and
parking
just leave
lot.
it there. If you don't want your Nikes, why are you destroying $200 shoes?
Perfectly good shoes.
And I get it. I'm trying to make a statement. Look at my statement. Look at my statement. Put them in a bag. Say, you know what? I disagree. I'm going to give these to somebody who doesn't care.
Yeah.
Or agrees or whatever. I'm going to put them in a bag. Give it to the veterans or the homeless people or people who need clothes,
Salvation
and then
Army,
walk away and go,
anyway.
not only did I stand up for my beliefs.
Sale,
yeah, sure.
bit.
So I stood up for my beliefs by getting rid of it,
Yeah.
but in turn, I helped somebody else. So I'm good like that. But to burn these, are you crazy?
No.
These are $200 shoes.
Ridiculousness.
That's
Again,
the craziness of it. Like, I get it. And then
Because-
they put it on social media.
Oh, yeah.
Look at me.
Well, and
I'm
because-
making a statement.
Because I don't like Colin Kaepernick for what he's done. Okay, so he's done what he's done. Big deal. You like it, you don't.
Yeah.
I don't care. Okay, that's so yesterday's news all about that. And because he's done what he's done, and I will say this about that, not to sound like Nixon. Let me say this about that. He's not going to get a job in the National Football League because people don't want to deal, pardon the pun here, with the ancillary circus. They don't. He's got to be kind of good at least because he got the team he played for in San Francisco, 5-6 years ago, to the Super Bowl. Granted, he had 11 others in the field at the same time that had to gel together, but he was the leader of that offense, ostensibly. But now, you know what? You start banging that wrong drum there, Broham, no one's going to want to hire you. I don't care if it's, selling shoes, no pun intended, selling shoes, selling cars, or doing what it is. They're not going to want to hire you. Now you have all this crap going on, and you're right, it's a big glorified, look at me.
Right. Look what
Okay.
I did.
You know what?
Everybody say something on my Facebook about how awesome I am.
Whether or not I would have
right.
brought Mr. Kaepernick in as my spokesperson is immaterial. Again, I would not have, but I get why they did it. Absolutely. What's happening is exactly what Nike wanted to happen. Buzz, talk.
Right.
Like fire.
And hello, that's the thing that I think is funny because people are like, I'm so mad. Look at all the attention I'm going to bring to these shoes. But then you got the people on the other side who are like, well, I'm going to buy 50,000 of these shoes just to prove a point. Like,
Right.
you just caused, and I'm not going to say who it is because I don't do that. But somebody on Facebook that we both know was like, see, Nike, you're losing all these sales. Sales has plummeted. Yeah. And he was going on. And I was saying to myself, no, they didn't. Because this is what's going on, is that you're bringing
3 point some percent. And guess what? That's to someone like Nike or a company like Nike.
Nothing.
That's like you and me pulling a $5 bill out of our
because
pocket.
in the end, the buzz that they get for the buzz that they're going to get,
Rightly
and
or
the
wrongly,
it doesn't matter how they do it. I
doesn't.
mean, it's that's what they did. Everything is done in marketing on purpose.
Yep.
Anybody who thinks that was done and they didn't know what they were doing is dumb. Sorry, but
And even if
they
it is,
knew what they were doing.
even if it is a mistake, okay, there is no such thing, reasonably speaking, as bad PR. I'm going to go back.
Correct.
I'm going to go back like 30 years. Okay, out in Williamsport, here we go. WILQ and WLYC. We used to do a thing, a tabloid publication 3 times a year: spring, back to school, and Christmas time. We would do the WILQ, WLYC Sale Finder. And it was, it was Mr. Advertiser, here's our Sale Finder promotion. When you buy X amount of commercials, you will get such and such of a size print ad in our Sale Finder publication that gets distributed, back then this was a huge deal, to over 100,000 homes in a 3, 4, 5 county area in north central Pennsylvania. Okay, very good. There was a local appliance store. Frank and Angelo Silvani owned F&A Silvani. Okay, they bought the double truck, the centerfold of the whatever year it was, is Sale Finder, whatever edition it was, doesn't matter. The 1986 Christmas Sale Finder. Okay, so you remember on the back of the comic books years ago used to be, Sell the Grit newspaper. Okay,
I don't remember that, but
the Grit Publishing is the people who we would have publish this thing or produce this thing, literally make it. Okay. And they made a mistake with 100 and some odd thousand of these things, F&S Silvani. And don't you know that Angelo was at first none too pleased. The guy who I know who worked with them, he went in, efforting to smooth it over. And for a while, Angie, you had to chase him around the store to talk with him. He was, about a week later, Jim, the account rep, goes back in, and Angie says, Jimmy, don't worry about it. We're doing great. What do you mean? I can't tell you how many people are coming in with the Sale Finder saying, hey, you see, it's wrong. It's F&S, not F&A. Ha, 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 ha. Hey, how about that Maytag thing over there? And all of a sudden, the publicity was not bad. And this time it was a mistake. But with our Nike people, oh my goodness, this was calculated.
Right.
Absolutely calculated.
It was. So that's why I was laughing, because I was like, someone was like, oh, stupid Nike. Look what happened. They're ruining their sales. No, they're not. You think people who work at Nike or companies that big, McDonald's, Honda, any multi-million-dollar company of that nature, they have a marketing team, or they have an outsourced marketing team.
Yep.
And all they do is sit around a table and go, let's pitch some ideas. What do you think? Bam, 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 bam. I got an idea. And it's going to piss people off. Trust me. But boy, are we going to get attention.
We might take
Period.
a step back.
We might have to.
But the go forward is going to be big.
It's going to be huge. It's
Okay.
going to be huge. Yeah, and
they stuck their neck out.
They're
I will
smart.
say that. They stuck their neck out.
Listen, and they knew exactly what was going to happen.
Agree. I absolutely agree.
And it's very naive if you think differently. Just saying.
Well, and again, whether or not I, you, he, she, they like the specific move or not, it's immaterial. Again, personally, not a huge fan. Professionally, from a marketing standpoint, wow.
Well, exactly.
I
And that's
it.
what it's about.
That's
it was all on purpose. Everybody knows.
All we're doing when we do stuff like this, even the stuff that we did, whatever, is we're just uniting people with product. That's it. That's all they're doing. They're bringing people to product. However it happens is however it happens. And guess what? The next thing in 6 months, 2 months, 12 months, 2 years is going to be the next thing. Stay tuned.
That's true. Yeah, we just exhausted that topic.
Well, yeah, okay. And
so guess what I watched last night, part 1?
Godfather.
No.
Damn it.
Though I've seen that a million times, but no,
course.
that's not what I said part one because there's 2 parts to it.
I never wanted this for you, Michael. Senator Corleone. Governor Corleone.
You're going to put some cotton balls in there. That's right. He did that.
Great.
He put cotton balls in there. That's what he did. He did put cotton balls
I
in there.
know.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
So I watched the Bobby Brown story. Yes,
You
I
know,
did.
I saw that.
Yes, I did.
And I almost like, oh.
Yes, I did.
I'm like, oh, no.
Yes, I did.
Tell me
No, I
about
had to. Well, you know what? You know, I saw the New Edition story, which was like a year ago, and it was actually pretty good. It was,
Wait,
New Edition story was
let
pretty,
me do a little
pretty
Whitney
awesome.
Houston for you. Here's my Whitney Houston impersonation. Ready?
Bye-bye!
Bye-bye!
Okay, that's all.
So it is. Well, one thing, there's some inconsistencies that I noticed because this is the biggest thing. If you watch, I actually watched the documentary about Whitney Houston as well. I'm fascinated by the whole thing. I really am. It fascinates me. That life that Whitney, I mean, because the way Whitney was presented, Whitney grew up in Newark, New Jersey.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Whitney was hood, so don't tell me she wasn't. But
Word.
what happened is when they got a hold of her, they made her just like cookie clean, you know, angel from heaven above, and they put her in this mold. And so when she went with Bobby Brown, they were like, well, how could this angel be with this devil Bobby Brown?
He's such a bad young man.
But really, they were actually very compatible. They had a lot in common.
Yep.
But one of the main things was the drugs that Whitney got involved with, which was pretty heavy. But they say, and I saw this in many different, you know, things that I read and saw, was that Bobby Brown was really a big alcoholic. He liked to drink. He was a big drinker.
I did not
He
know
didn't. Oh yeah, big drinker. And he didn't really get into the drugs until he met Whitney Houston.
Oh.
And I heard that because she was kind of into the drugs a little bit. She dabbled as a teenager, but them together, 2 addicts, you put them together. She starts drinking, he starts doing drugs, vice versa. But in the Bobby Brown story, and mind you, it's only part 1, but we've already gotten to the point where Whitney Houston had her baby, and they haven't introduced any drugs into this storyline. There is not one drug,
Wow.
and there's no alcohol either. It's like clean. And I said, well,
it wasn't happening, or have they just not
well,
gotten into
I don't
it yet?
know, because I, of course, went on Twitter, and I'm talking to all the Twitter life people because I want to know, because Twitter's very active when it comes to like talking about story. And they're like, where's the alcohol? Where's the drugs? Why aren't they talking about this? Like, it's a big thing. But one revelation that came out in that show, which I didn't know, but did you know that Bobby Brown had sex with Janet Jackson?
Wow.
You knew that? I didn't know that.
I
was
would have
like,
had no idea.
Oh, it had the whole story about how he ended up, and I was like, this man. And another thing is, he had
Miss
sex
Jackson,
with like
'cause
pretty.
he's nasty.
Yeah, he had sex with pretty much everybody. First of all, he had sex with every groupie.
Well.
He cheated on Whitney. He cheated on Janet. He cheated on Janet with Whitney, and then he was with this girl Kim. Had 2 babies with her. Then was sleeping with Janet Jackson. Sleeping with Whitney. Got Whitney pregnant. Whitney lost her baby. Then Kim got pregnant, and then he went back to Whitney. I mean, it was like crazy. I said, this man. He had
Wow.
sex with everybody, but I didn't know about Janet Jackson. That was all news to me. I
my.
must have missed that teen bop issue because I didn't
She
see
got
it.
Gino in the know, man. Look at
Gina's
that.
like, I knew about Bobby, and
Wow.
so I'll tell you something. It's funny because I was very lucky, I guess, but I met most of New Edition, so
right,
I
cool it
met
now.
Ralph.
Cool
I
it
did.
now.
I did. I met Ralph Tresvant. I met Michael Bivins. I didn't meet Ricky Bella, but so I met Bobby Brown, and I'm gonna tell you a story about this. Very good story. So me and my friend were leaving the club in Boston. And we're all hoochied up. I mean, you know, with little skirts on and heels. And this was a long time ago. This is not recently, you know. But this was like, you know,
That
we're
we know
talking
of.
15 years ago, maybe 15. And we're walking down the street from the club, do. And a car pulls up, and the rear window goes down, and Bobby Brown's in there. He said, "Hey, ladies, hey." And we're like, "Bobby Brown!" He's like, "What's up? What are you girls doing? Where are you going?" "We're going home." "Yeah, you going home? You're not going to a party? You're not going to... "No, we're just going home." "Oh, you want to come out? You want to come out with us? You want to come out with us?" We're like, "No, we're good." We're not hanging with Bobby. But listen, because you know you're going to end up having sex with Bobby Brown if you get in that car. Let's put it out there, you know. So I was like, I ain't going to that car to have sex with Bobby Brown. But he was very nice, whatever. So that at the time I was working for Jammin' 94.5 hip hop radio station.
Jammin' 94.5.
So of course, because I'm the big name dropper, I pulled out my business card and I'm like, Bobby, I work for Jammin' 94.5, and he was like, that's my favorite radio station. I said, call me.
Hey.
Hey.
Holla, homie.
He might have called. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. But that was my my little interchange
Your brush with
my
Bobby.
brush with Bobby. But yeah, so it was really interesting. But yeah, they showed he was just wow, and that was part 1.
Oh.
There's another part
There's
tonight. Oh, there's part 2.
Oh.
I can't. I don't know. I just couldn't stop watching. I didn't mean to watch. I just kind of was flicking, but I had to stop.
I almost did.
I had
be
to
honest
stop.
with you. I almost did.
Listen, that album, Don't Be Cruel, best album. I'm sorry. He had like 8 hits. She's my tenderoni. Like he had like 8 hits. That album was ridiculous. That was huge. And then that was it.
Sounds like something from the grocer. Tenderoni. And your
You my
grocery
tenderoni. Every little step I take, you will be there. Every little step I take will be my prerogative. I can do what I want to do. It's my prerogative.
Oh my.
Listen, that album was awesome.
That's going back about, what, 20, 25 years?
I know.
Yikes.
I had to see what was going on there.
On
And
Wink 104, number 1 for music, money, and fun. As charged up for the weekend as you are. High voltage, Wink 104.
Yeah, I watched that. So that was my
my.
entertainment for the night. What
Wow.
did you watch last night? Was there baseball on?
Yeah,
Were the Mets playing?
Yeah, not till late. They're out in the West Coast. They're out in Los Angeles. I was watching. Oh, dig this! It was it was Guy Lombardo, not the World Canadians guy, a colleague. Dig it. He's a distant relative, and they named him Guy. Anyway, it was our fantasy football draft last night.
Ah,
Or was it?
what?
It was not.
What? What do you mean?
It got all goofed up. It was on the Yahoo Fantasy Football, and we picked draft orders 1 through 12, and I got the 10th draft position. Yeah, open up the page and number 4. I'm like, yeah. So long story short, the whole thing had to be rejigged and put back together, and a whole new thing created. So tonight at 8:30, in about 2 hours and 15 minutes or so, the redraft, the draft version 2.0 begins. So that's what I was doing or attempting to do. And I had, okay, here I am, Mr. Guy, Mr. Football. I had the NFL Network on because I was listening in one ear as to what they were saying about players while I was going to be drafting, in my other ear and with my eyes that I see out of, why are you so sweaty? I was watching Cops. What?
That was on too. That was on over the weekend.
Yes, it was.
I love that movie.
That's Step
That movie
Brothers.
doesn't get old.
No, it does not.
I love it.
I saw
love that
you
movie.
with my eyes. Put your nutsack on my drums. Yeah, you're out of your mind.
I don't have my headphones.
There they are.
Wait, is this my headphones? Can I
Maybe.
hear myself?
Can you?
Can I hear me? I can't hear me. Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Maybe these aren't my headphones.
Uh-oh. We're experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by.
I keep wrapping it around and
We appreciate your
not
listenership
that it
and
matters,
viewership.
but I don't know. Sometimes
We're
I like to-
experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by.
John,
Call
keep
us.
talking.
Call us at Real Town with Tracy and John and Tracy.
was
Yeah, why not? Give us a buzz, man. Lord knows
Hello?
we could use one on a hot night like this. It's 609 area code 609-807-2492. That's the one you need to do. 2492.
2492. Yeah, but people can't see this. You're saying the
609-807-2492.
number. No one knows
Why not?
because it's not live.
Ah,
So you're saying the number it doesn't mean anything.
well, they could.
Where?
Can't they get it? Can't they get it through HamiltonRadio.net?
Yeah, but they don't know that we're asking to call right now. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's not like they're watching us right now and going call right now.
They're listening.
Is it streaming right now?
Of course.
Is it?
Yeah. Oh my.
I don't know. Sometimes back in the day, back in the Kurt day, it wasn't working.
And sometimes
Remember?
you feel like a nut, and
back
sometimes
in
you
the
don't.
Kurt Zimmerman day. I might not now. It's because you probably fixed everything
Again,
now.
609-807
Back in the day.
2492. Yeah,
Remember?
a year ago. Yeah, back a year ago.
Remember that? Well, who was the celebrity we had on
Pamela and Ferdin.
Trainwreck? What?
Pamela and Ferdin.
And her
Edna
people were
Unger.
so mad. Remember how mad they got?
Why?
Remember? Am I talking
No.
about the same? No, you were there.
I know. Which one? Maybe it
When
wasn't her.
Tim arranged the interview, and then the guy said, "As long as we can, get it,
Oh,
can
that
hear
was her.
it,
That was her.
and we
Yeah.
know, you know what I mean."
Her
And then we
handler,
didn't-
her manager was like, as long as we can have it, we know it's going to be live and this, that, and the other,
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
be glad to do it. Then it was, and it was like, wow.
Yeah, and the guy was freaking out, and Tim was like, "Oh." So I was thinking back in those days.
Hey,
What's
up, Tim Eli? He is the Eggman.
Who's that? Can we say hi to
The
him?
screen. Hello.
No,
Right there.
the
What?
person.
What? Oh, over there?
Yeah.
Oh.
Monk.
Mama Monk.
He's another co-partner.
Yeah.
Hi, Monk. Did we meet Monk before? Like a long time ago.
He was here a few
Back
weeks
in the
ago.
Kurt days. What? He was. I wasn't here.
Yeah, I know.
Oh. Hi, Monk.
Love you. Mean that.
What's up? You all right? You doing okay? You all right?
It's a big question mark.
All right. I was just checking in. Checking in with
That's
Monk.
what I was doing last night. I wasn't watching anything. I wasn't watching the thing. I had to, and then all of a
So
sudden,
you said the
after-
Mets were not playing?
not till late. They're not till 10 o'clock. Out
So
in the-
what was the score last night?
11-4. They lost.
Who they played? Tampa
The-
Bay?
the Dodgers.
Oh, the Dodgers.
Out on
Oh,
the
they were in
West
LA.
Coast.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
they won the night before. Jacob deGrom pitched a gem. Cy
I'm
Young.
glad they kind of picked it up a little bit because they were having a streak of loserness for quite some time, and then they just kind of picked it
They're
up.
still not very great. They're just not even close to very great. I mean, today I think today and or tonight is the rubber game, meaning that they either win or lose the series, take the best out of three, and then they're off tomorrow and they come back to the friendly Citi Field Stadium and play the Phillies. Yeah,
But Boston Red Sox are doing very well.
that's coming up. They're playing
Doing
the
very well.
Sox coming up shortly.
Man, they're doing well. I can't. Nothing I can say. I'm buying my Boston Red
They
Sox
are
jacket as we
dynamite.
speak.
They are dynamite.
They're dynamite. They're on fire.
Lightning in
They're
a
on
Jug
fire.
2018, your Boston Red Stockings. Yes, yes,
What's
yes.
going on with so I saw something, maybe this was a week ago, about the Giants cutting someone. Everyone was pissed off about it. Who was it that they cut on the Giants? And everyone was like up in arms.
They cut who was the backup quarterback, Davis Webb.
Yes.
And
And
the-
why were people were so mad about it?
Well, because
And
he's the heir apparent. No, you know what? That was okay. That was a pick made under the former regime of I just had his name, Jerry. Oh,
Seinfeld?
Jerry, Uncle Leo. Sorry, squirrel. Jerry Reese.
Marble Rye.
Jerry, okay, narcissist. We were talking about that today, by the way. About Jerry Reese, who was the general manager, and Ben McAdoo, who was the head coach. Those guys are instrumental in picking him. Davis Webb had a horrendous preseason. Now, some could argue, it's only preseason, whatever. And I don't necessarily completely disagree, but you know what? Once is a fluke, twice or more is a trend. There was a trend this preseason. So they cut him. And the Jets, who play in the same building, picked him up.
Oh, that's why everybody was
That's
pissy.
everybody's all bent out of shape. Now, here's the thing, though. At least to begin with, he is only on the practice squad. He's not on the 53-man active roster. He's on the taxi squad, basically the glorified tackling dummies, so to speak. Not really, but the glorified tackling dummies who emulate this week's opponent. So if the Jets are going to play New England, and whatever given week, the practice squad emulates what New England would be showing them. That's where Davis Webb is right now. They just did that the other day, and whatever. I mean, it just is what it is. It's not personal. It's business. It's time to get to the business of playing the games, winning more than 3 if you're the Big Blue Wrecking Crew. And again, it all starts tomorrow night with the Falcons and the Eagles. So big doings in the National Football League.
Football.
Of course.
There's something I was going to talk about. Now I can't remember what the heck it was.
The Kavanaugh hearings?
No. No. Oh, my obsession.
Which one is that?
My obsession with 90 Day Fiance. Oh my God.
What?
Best reality
Oh,
show
no.
ever.
No.
Best reality show ever.
I caught a little of that. I can't tell you when, and I'm like, okay, well,
Oh,
there's
that
12
show
minutes of my
is
life I will never get back.
fantastic. It's so good.
Uh,
No, it's really good. It's really a
okay.
good show. It's a good show because there's like lots of drama. So much drama.
Here, let me channel my mother
know what
for
it's
a moment.
about?
Ready?
Well, what's important is that you like it, dear.
Yes, that is important. What
As
I like
long as
is
you're happy
it should
with
take
it,
preference.
that's fine.
It's just
Thank you, Mother.
it's about people in America, in the U.S., who have to go overseas to find lovers and then bring them over to the U.S. And this is like a legitimate thing. I mean, this is like it's been happening forever. But this is but what they do is they go online and there's sites. There's like Filipino singles.
Russian
Russian singles,
Come to America, love you,
Peru, like all. So they go on and they're online and they start these love affairs,
Right.
and then they go over to meet them, and they have they get a K1 visa, and a K1 visa is you can bring someone over from another country for 90 days legally, and in those 90 days, you have 90 days. You have to marry them by the end of the 90 days, or they get sent back to their country.
Okay.
So, and that's a true thing. It's a real, it exists. So what happens is the whole show is about them meeting this person that they've been having this online affair with and trying to figure out if in those 90 days they're actually really in love with each other. And it is the most fascinating show.
Does it ever
I don't
work?
care. Oh yeah, there's ones they had babies,
Stop.
got married.
No.
Oh yeah, there's ones that legit happen. Yeah, it's not all, they're not all phony. I mean, you can kind of, like, this is the thing that's really cool about this show, is that you get to know both parties. And sometimes you look at the American person, you're like, see, to me, if you fall in love, you fall in love. I don't care where you're from.
Understood.
But here's the weird thing is, like, there are going to be people out there who are just looking to come over to this country, and they'll say whatever they need to say online to, So there was this woman, Danielle, and she was involved with this guy. I can't remember where he was from, but he was really good looking. And she was... I'm not going to say anything mean about women.
Facha brute.
That's an understatement. I mean, there is no way. There is no way. And everybody knows that online starts with physical. I mean, it doesn't start with like, you're looking at each
Of
other.
course.
And when you saw them together, it was so weird because he would never kiss her because he said it was against his religion.
Oh.
Ultimately, so here's the funny thing. When you watch a show, there's no way this guy is in love with this woman. Because not only was she not physically, but her personality was horrible. Like, I can look at someone and say, okay, physically she's not really that, but she's so funny and so cute. And you can kind of, people
been there and
become,
done it.
sure, people.
Absolutely.
No, was missing. She had nothing. She had nothing. There was nothing there. Nothing there. So she brought him over, married him, whatever. And sure enough, the fights start happening. Well, when you bring someone over, here's another thing that I didn't know. You have to sign like this contract, whatever, that if it doesn't work out, you still have to support them.
What?
Oh, this isn't.
So 30 days in, and we have a knockdown, drag out, so to speak,
Yeah.
not literally. I'm still on the hook for 60 more days with this nut?
Unless you can prove. So here's the thing. You have to prove that the person was lying to get in and just like making up a story just to get with you. If you can prove that, you have to prove it. That's
Well,
the
how long
key.
does that take? I mean, it's going to be pretty near 90 days at
So
that
this
point.
guy, let's put it this way, this guy stayed in this country and got to stay, even though everybody knew, but because he couldn't prove, she couldn't prove, even though it was obvious to like pretty much the world that she didn't have the proper documentation, whatever it was. So he's here, and that's it. It's done. So, and it's fascinating to me. It fascinates me because with all the stuff that's going on now with immigration and so on, that fascinates me the most because there's so many things going on with, deportation and this and then this.
Oh,
When you
yeah.
have this, actually, this takes place. This happens.
So you have this
Legally.
side door that's wide open,
Yeah.
so to speak. Wow.
And it's legal.
Yeah.
So that's the thing when we talk about, well, they should come in here legally. Well, guess what?
Guess
They
what?
are. But it's almost like, I don't even know how to explain it, but it is legitimately a legal way to come in here, and you can actually fight like you can fight being extradited back to your country and win. even if you didn't love that person. And that is a legit thing. That's why I get angry when I see this. I get mad. I'm
what
like,
network is this on? Because
TLC. Is it TLC?
I'll have to look for
TLC.
it because I caught a bit of it, and and I had to say the piece that I caught.
Which one?
I can't even tell you, but
Yeah.
it was 10, maybe 12 minutes, and I'm like, again, okay, well, there's 12 minutes of my life.
Well, yeah, because you're like, oh, this
never
is
get
just
back.
junk. This
I
is
just-
just whatever. But when you actually like look at the
Dive
big picture
into
of
it
it,
and see
it's pretty fascinating. Because there are couples that legit like they fall in love and they're in love and they come over and they have
No, and
babies and they
that's
get
fine. I
married
got
and
no
that's
issue
fine.
with that.
But there's the ones that are just like you're like, this is a little off. Like you kind of know something's up, but to get that person to go back is almost impossible.
Wow.
So
Wow.
isn't that crazy?
Wow.
True story.
That is nuts.
Yep. It's true story. That's
Huh.
what I'm telling you. There's so much more to look at when we talked about this last week.
Yeah.
Last week, there's so much more to it than just, yeah, I don't want them in this country. Like if it was that easy, like,
No,
but there's
it's-
so much. It's so deep. It's so deep. It's so deep.
It's a cavern.
It's
It's like a spiderous, if that's a word, a spiderous. Who am I, George W. Bush? It's a spiderification of a cavern, meaning that there's you see the cave opening.
Strategery.
It's absolutely the strategy is to get in the country and do something to stay there. You see see the opening of the cave, but you don't realize that there are 3 billion little arteries and capillaries, so to speak, in the cave that you're never gonna know about. Same thing with all these rules and regs and laws and whatnot. Here, all of a sudden, boom, right there is a legal way to enter the country, overhanded, above board, or not. You know,
Right.
it is what it is.
Fascinating. It's
I
just
hope-
fascinating. It just blows my mind.
I hope people find what they're looking for because while I have no problem being, on one hand, being alone, I don't necessarily like it. It's not my. It's not always. It's not always fun. It's always good to have a person.
Yeah, it is
know?
good to have a person. Things get lonely. I mean, that's
they
just,
do.
and it's not necessarily because you're alone, but it's more so that the companionship or having someone there just to have like casual conversation with on a daily basis.
Agreed.
Like your dog doesn't talk back. I mean, that's just the
True
way
enough.
it is.
I mean, I hope legitimately, I hope people like this, whether it's on this program or just in life in general, I hope people find what they're looking for. I mean, it's just that simple. It's just that simple. If you want to be on your own little private Idaho, knock yourself out. But if you don't want that, well, then do something about it.
Exactly.
What you got going this week till we
What's
come
this
back?
about the Backstreet Boys? Backstreet Boys.
Backstreet
Brian the
Boys
Child
again?
just said NSYNC sucks. That's news? How did that become news? I'm on my
This just
news
in.
feed. I'm on my news feed. That's funny. Canada needs Chapter 19 because Trump doesn't always follow the rules. Trudeau. Oh God, that's the whole thing. Canada's our friend. Just leave him alone. Canada's our friend.
What's the problem with Canada? Huh?
I don't
Huh?
know, but they're so peaceful.
Well,
Captain Marvel. I'm just trying to look for. There ain't nothing going on in the world. This world is just. There ain't nothing going on.
what do you got the rest of the week till next time?
What do I got? I got nothing. Well, I gotta deal with. Pumpkin muffins.
Oh,
I don't know. I got nothing. Don't you like that pumpkin spice, pumpkin
No.
muffins,
No.
pumpkin pie,
No.
pumpkin lattes?
No.
Pumpkin cake? Pumpkin
it's just
Halloween?
it's just to me, and this will be our parting shot, I'm thinking, looking at the time. It's like when all of a sudden on September, all the Christmas stuff is up.
Oh, Christmas. Oh, God, I wasn't talking about Christmas.
No, hold on. In August, mind you, wasn't there the pumpkin spice fill in the blank already?
Yeah.
October 1st, please, can we, early October, maybe the tail end of September, maybe, can we have the autumnal equinox occur? That's on the 23rd of this month, by the way, kids, okay? For those of you.
People love fall.
And wait till the fall starts on September 23rd. Make it a thing, a big thing. I told you we did this years ago at the radio station out in Bloomsburg when the guy bought it, who the local guy. You know, what are we going to do? We're gonna, Christmas music. I said, Joe, you're doing it all wrong.
I know they start early.
You're starting too
Oh
early.
no, they start early.
I said, you're starting too early. But everybody starts early. I said, that's the problem. I said, make it a big deal and hometown it, old time it to death. Promos on the air from Halloween to the to Thanksgiving Day. Here's what you do, and you go and you cover. And there's an event that happens every year out there, the Run for the Diamonds in Berwick, Pennsylvania. It's like a half a marathon. You cover the Run for the Diamonds, and as soon as the Run for the Diamonds is over, and you publicize this, that you play Alice's Restaurant on Thanksgiving. You play the long version, Arlo Guthrie, Alice's Restaurant, and then make a big deal. Just like Santa Claus at the end of the Thanksgiving Macy's Day Parade of the start of the Christmas music.
I don't want to hear Alice's Restaurant.
On Thanksgiving. Then don't listen until after. Okay, there's a lot of people
Ooh.
do. Okay,
Oh.
it's a Thanksgiving tradition.
Oh, zing!
You can get,
Oh,
you can get anything
excuse
you,
me.
You can get anything
Sorry.
you want in Alice's Restaurant.
Sleigh bells ring, are
Excepting
you
Alice.
listening?
And that's what you do right after.
In the
You make a big
rain.
deal out of it, and he did it.
Snow is
he did it,
glistening.
and it was like he just, you know, the clouds parted, the sun shone, the rainbow appeared, the bluebirds flew, like he just invented radio.
Rainbow.
Just saying, keeping it real. Love it when I'm right. 6:30, kids.
Santa Claus is coming
And
to
pumpkin
town.
spice. Okay, and let's go back to pumpkin.
I don't know
spice.
any Halloween
Good.
songs. She did the mash.
He did the monster
mash.
mash.
The monster mash.
It was a graveyard smash.
Who's giving me a...
Whatever happened to my Transylvania twist? All right, 6:31, 29 till 7, the Man Alpha Show. The Alpha Show is coming up with
Where's Ed?
with our friend Ed. He's coming. He's on his way.
All right.
He'll be here with some Hawaiian shirt, I'm sure. Happy that the flag is up.
I think the chair's still sunk, by the way.
No, you're good.
Not
You're up-
as bad as it... No,
you're
I
up
was
there.
higher.
Oh, you're up there.
All right. I'll
Say
have to
goodnight,
ask Ed
Tracy.
the secret. Good night, Tracy.
That's it. Real Town, another edition in the books. We'll catch you next Wednesday. Right, Gene? 5:30-ish.
Ish.
Until then,
Eesh.
look us up on Facebook, our Facebook page, Real Town with John and Tracy. Let us know what you want to
Real
talk
Town.
about. Check it out. Say your piece. Piece your say. Whatever you like.
Peace.
Yut the hay. And we will see you next time.
Peace.
Bye.
What's up? This guy got fired. This messed up, man. Well, I knew. You know what?
Say
though?
why?